Hey, what is going on, 5-9 Gaming? It's your boy Swift, and today we are going to be taking a look at some of the fan-made kits that you guys sent to us for the upcoming Zenkai Green Super 17. I think he's going to probably be a pretty good unit. I think he's definitely going to be a stepping stone in the right direction for helping GT come back into the meta. But I think at the end of the day, most people are just going to throw him on their Androids team. So hopefully they don't make him too busted, because obviously Androids really doesn't need another busted Zenkai. But at the same time, you could argue that he needs to be busted to help bring GT back into the meta. So I can kind of see it from both points of views, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the kit. So the submission that I chose was from Mikado. Thank you for your submission. I always appreciate it. I enjoy going over these. So yeah, thank you for your submission. And let's get into it. So we will start off with the Zenkai ability. So he says both characters that are both green and GT. I honestly hope that this is what it is. And I don't know if we have 100% confirmation, but from everything that we've heard so far, I think a lot of people are saying that this is in fact what the Zenkai buff is supposed to be. So, and like I said, I hope it is, because Androids really doesn't need another broken Zenkai unit. So let's hope that this is what the Zenkai buff is, and we'll move on to the stats. So we do have him 14 stars, level 5,000 here. So currently, right now, in game, 2.34 million health. So Mikado is basically adding an extra 300,000 health. Makes sense. That's about what a Zenkai should be. Nothing too crazy, but definitely needed for Zenkai. Right now, currently in game, 215k strike, 235k blast. He is saying 230k strike, 260k blast. So basically an extra 15,000 to strike attack, an extra 30,000 to blast attack. Makes sense. I can live with that. Right now in game, 160k strike defense and also 160k blast defense. So Mikado is basically adding, roughly 10,000 to each defense. Makes sense. It might be a little on the low side, but you got to remember with a unit like this, their kit is going to be specifically designed around being tanky, being defensive, having damage cut options, having reduced damage options. So you can't always focus on the stats alone. You got to look at the entire kit. So that's cool with me. I agree with that. We will go ahead and move on to the main ability. So right now, basically what it is in game is you pop the main, you get your ultimate card, and you get 50% buff to blast damage for 20 counts, and that's it. There's nothing else. Mikado is saying you still draw your ultimate card, you still get the 50% to blast damage for 25 counts, but now you are getting 15% to health, so you restore 15% health and you gain 30 ki. Now that right there is important. We've seen this with a lot of other units in the past, where on their original kit they do not gain ki on their main ability, and then they get their Zenkai and boom, they gain that ki. And I think we all know by now, even a small number like 30, when you're gaining that ki, it can literally make or break the game. It can, gaining 30 ki basically gives you an opportunity to maybe pop one more strike card and then immediately go into your ultimate. So I definitely agree with that, and I really like that. Let's move on to the arts cards. So no change to strike or blast. Okay. Right now, the blue card in game deals major impact damage, and you gain plus 25% to blast damage. Okay. Mikado is saying still major impact damage, still plus 25% to blast damage, but you gain increases zone ki restore speed by 30% for 10 timer counts. I actually kind of like that. It's kind of like a, if you're able to have the skill to land that blue card, then boom, you gain that extra ki restore speed. Definitely like that. We'll move on to the green card. Now, me personally, I think his green card is pretty good right now in game, so we'll have to see what Mikado says here. So Mikado says restore zone health by 15%. Ooh, I like that. Reduces damage received by 30% for 5 counts. Okay. Plus 25% to damage inflicted for 30 counts. Okay. Reduces enemy ki by 50, which is still currently what it is in game. Okay. And increases card draw speed by 1 for 10 counts. Now that's the big one right there. You know, having card draw speed can literally make or break a unit. Look at a unit like Gogeta Blue. Has a fantastic kit, fairly good stats, but everybody kind of puts him down because he doesn't have this one little thing right here. So, you know, having that option to get the card draw speed, I like it. I agree with it. And I think it would actually be really cool for this unit to have that. So, very cool. I like that. I agree with basically everything he says right here. Nothing too crazy busted, but, you know, some upgrades that he actually needs. So, definitely like that. We'll move on to the ultimate. So, basically right now, the ultimate in game deals massive impact damage, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to strike cost for 20 counts, and then 100% chance to inflict all enemies with paralyzed. Now that right there is the big one. I think we all remember the days of when people used to run this guy all the time. And if they landed that ultimate, then you were basically done for. You had to deal with paralyze on all your units. It's not just the one unit that gets hit, it inflicts it to all the units. So it's definitely a very good ultimate. And let's see what Mikado says. So basically it looks like he didn't do too much changing to this besides he added plus 20% to damage inflicted. I like that. You know, it's already a very good ultimate. We don't want to make it too crazy busted. He's keeping the same buffs, same abilities, but he just adds the 20% damage. I like that. We'll move on to the uniques. All right, so first unique, Growing Energy. Let's see, it looks like reduced damage received by 30% for 10 counts. Okay, that's still the same that's in game. Looks like he adds, let's see, reduces damage received by 30% for 10 timer counts when changing cover. Okay. Plus 30% to blast damage inflicted, cannot be canceled. Okay. And plus 20% to damage inflicted every time this character defeats an enemy. Which is the same thing that's still in the game right now. So, looks like he didn't change too much here. He added some extra damage buffs, which is nice. He added an extra reduced damage buff, which is nice. I can live with this. Like I said, nothing too crazy, but definitely some updates that he needs. So, I can live with that. Let's move on to the second unique. So, basically we got, okay, it's called Dr. Muse Absorption Equipment. Let's see here. So right now in game, absorbs enemy ki blasts when changing cover. So he's got that ki blast cover change option, which is always nice. Restores on health by 10%, reduces damage received by 30% for 5 counts, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 20 counts. Reduces enemy ki by 50. That's a big one. That's one thing I really like about his cover change to this day. And then also, while this character's on the battlefield, every time the enemy switches, you gain a special arts card, activates 3 times, and inflicts all enemies with plus 10 to strike cards. Okay, so let's see what Mikado changed over here. So, looks like he increased this 10% to 15%. Okay, looks like he kept this one the same. Looks like he kept this one the same as well, and still reduces 50 ki. So, looks like the only thing he really changed is instead of 10%, 15%. And I think, was that it? Yeah, okay. I can live with that. You know, this is still the first ability, so he's still got the second, the third, and the fourth. I'm sorry, this is the second unique, so he still has the third and the fourth that come with the Zenkai, obviously. We'll have to see what those look like, but this is still a nice little increase. I can live with that. We'll agree with that. Like I said at the beginning, we don't want this guy to be too incredibly busted because most people are just going to throw him on their androids team. So I like it. We'll move on to the third unique that gets unlocked with the Zenkai. Obviously, these next two are not in game right now. So, all right. So Dreadful Superfusion applies the following effects to character per tag android or GT when this character enters the battlefield. Plus 15% to damage inflicted, plus 20% to ki restore speed, and restore ki by 5. Interesting. So, basically, as long as as long as you're running this guy with androids or GT, you're going to be receiving some nice buffs here, and you're gaining a little bit of extra ki. I like it. I definitely like that. Let's move on to the next one. Applies the following effects to self depending on the number of timer counts elapsed from battle start. So 15 counts, -5 to blast, 25 counts, -5 to strike, 50 counts, plus 25% to own damage. Okay, so this does not reset every time he swaps in and out. He is saying from the very beginning of the battle, from battle start. Let's see, applies the following effects to self depending on the number of timer counts. Yeah, from battle start. So this isn't something that, resets every time he comes in and out. As long as, battle starts, 50 counts goes by, he gains this damage buff, he gains these buffs. That's nice. I like that. Definitely not something that's too crazy busted, but something that can definitely help him do some extra damage late game, and even early game, this stuff is pretty nice as well. So I definitely like that. Now let's move on to the explanations here. Alright, so what made you decide to make the character the way you made it? I wanted to make him so he starts out tanky, yet doesn't deal as much damage as you would expect from a Zenkai at first. Instead, he has a ton of ways to build up damage as the battle goes on. Like, that's what I was kind of saying up here. As the battle's going on, he's going to be doing a lot more damage. I like that a lot. Ranging from using his ultimate to defeating enemies, having enough timer counts elapse. Yeah, I like this a lot. What role do you see the character in their teams, and how do they fit the current and potential future meta? Honestly, androids did not need another Zenkai. Yep, I agree with that. If this guy was released with the kit that I made, I can see him being a tanky cover option with a lot of endgame potential. The paralysis is also pretty nasty. Okay, I did not add tag Fusion Warrior on his third passive because I don't think it feels right for him to be prominent unit on that tag, and I agree with that. His Zenkai ability buffs GT mainly because his Z ability is already good for an android's bench, and they don't need any more support in my opinion. Cheers. Definitely agree with this. Kind of what I mentioned already. Androids really doesn't need another busted Zenkai unit, and I agree. This guy doesn't really feel right being on Fusion Warrior either. So yeah, I agree with all this, and I like how he made him, a little bit better, but not too busted, because as I've already said, if this guy comes out busted, androids is just going to be even more ridiculous than they already are. So I definitely like that he did not make him busted, but he did give him some stat upgrades and some kit upgrades that you will definitely notice a difference. So, and I think with that, that's going to be the end of my segment. I appreciate your submission, Mikado. Like I said, I agree with most of everything you said right here. So we appreciate your submission, and thanks for stopping by, and I will go ahead and pass it on to the next content creator. Peace.
What up, my name is Brad. Welcome back to 5-9 Gaming. I think I'm in the middle of the video on this one, so we're just going to jump right in. Zenkai 17, we all pick someone. I believe Azdik is in front of me and Swift is behind me, but I could be wrong. Either way, let's get into it. So I picked Luke Myers, just strictly because I read through it and I was kind of, okay, that seems pretty solid. So green and GT, 40% to both defenses, 35% to both attacks, solid. What are new stats maxed out? 2.55 million, strike attack 240k, blast events 180, 270, 180. That actually sounds pretty feasible. Really, really good defenses because he is a defensive unit. Solid blast attack, and then solid strike attack, but not quite as good, right? 2.5 million. I could see a little bit more health just because we saw in Broly. I think Broly's 3.2. It's also a transformation, so it depends. Solid though, no complaints. What's their new main ability? This ends now. Delete all your cards in your hand and replace them with 4 new ones, including the ultimate. Now, if it actually, if it deletes all 4 of them, it gives you 3, whatever cards, so we get a green, a strike, and a green 2 strikes, and then your ultimate, that would be ridiculous. Actually ridiculous. So, I'd like to see something like that, though. If he got the Vegito Blue treatment where you get your ultimate off, it actually gets rid of a card in your hand and gives you that would just be... that would make him pretty good. Restores ki fully and will cut the cost of cards, so I'm assuming it just lowers the cost from 29 to 19, right? 60% of blast damage for the team for 25 timer counts. Okay, not bad. What changes would you make to their arts card? So strike card, nothing to be changed, just a standard strike. Blast card, blast armor piercing, which, if you don't know what that means, essentially think of the old blue Gogeta, not Gogeta Blue, the old blue Gogeta that came out like a year and a half to 2 years ago at this point. He has that where he gets an additional 100% to units that you're using blast armor, which is actually really good. So if you're going to do 60k, you just did 120k. So, I mean, you're going to do way more than that, right? But you know what I mean. Solid. Blue card deals major impact damage, also 35% of blast damage inflicted for 20 counts upon activation. Solid enough for a solid blue card. We're looking at his ultimate. That's all 17 was all really used for, right? It was his ultimate. That was his main use on any team. Z ability and ultimate. But now if they're trying to make him, hopefully this guy with a little more GT focus. I kind of just waited a little bit, pick someone, but yeah. Green card will activate with a blast tap or a blast card. Effects will happen, and activation restores health by 25%, reduce damage received by 45% for 10 counts, 30% damage inflicted, and reduces enemy ki by 65. My gosh, that would be a game-changing green card. You get a quarter your HP back, reduces your damage received by 45%. You take some of their ki. I mean, I hope they give him this kind of treatment. I really do. I picked something, like when I read through it, I read little absurd, like, blurbs right there. And it was kind of like, I hope they actually do that, because it's like, GT needs it. I don't think even something absurd like that would save it, but that would certainly help. Let's put it that way. How would you change their first unique? Nullify unfavorable elements. That's it. That's all I put. And I was like, okay, I like that. Yeah, just give him type neutral. I'm down for 20 counts when the unit comes onto the field. Give him type neutral. Boom. And their second one is 20% damage, so nothing absurd, which is good. And then card draw speed of 1. Okay, right there, those three things together, now the damage is a little bit low on 20%. Say that was 60%. That would make 17 one of the best units in the entire game. If on drop-in, he got type neutral, card draw speed, and damage, it'd be like a top 5 unit right out the gate. Again, I kind of hope they do that for him. 17 got no love when he dropped, and it's not that I'm a gigantic 17 stand or something along those lines, but GT needs something to fall back on. Androids already has green 16, so if they move on from green 17 without like giving them to GT essentially, without making it GT based, it's gonna get passed up for a while. Like, we'll see. The anniversary's coming up, and GT obviously could get some love, but I'm hoping they actually do some absurd stuff like this. When this character switches out to standby, character with the tag GT will have 45% to crit. Oh, hold on. 35. Whoa. So he's just Bardock at Z3. Hey, I'm here for it. That's fine. So he's just making him basically the Bardock of GT. Again, I said it on the podcast the other day. I think every team should have a unit similar to that, and I stand by that. Because, you know, if you got everybody has something busted they can work with, that's either an older unit that they can Zenkai or whatever else. So like how Bardock is there. If every single team had a unit that busted, it's not busted anymore. Like if you give it access to everybody, and I don't think Bardock's actually that busted. He's just really, really good. But you know what I mean. This would be ridiculous. This would be ridiculous, bud. Also, one card will be put in your hand if you don't have any cards in your hand. Oh, he got the Vegeta tech? Well, okay, but I guess that's not really the Vegeta tech. That'll be more like the Green Cooler movie where you draw a strike card, but either way. I would cut that one off. If he's given crit and crit damage at that high percentage, don't think we fully need that, but what would the unique be at Z6 look like? After 10 timer counts, can nullify all cover change for 50 timer counts. Also an increase of card draw speed to level 2 for 10 counts. Okay, for 10 counts isn't too bad. That's not too long. After just 10 counts, so he just exists and he just gives card draw speed to GT. I'm guessing on swapping. Okay, nullifying cover changes is fine. That's not a problem. For 50 counts, just in general, okay, there's not like a cap on it. There's not like 1 or 2 or 3 times. That's actually not that bad. That'd be interesting, you know. Also an increase in card draw speed to level 2 for 10 counts. So I'm wondering if that just lasts for that 10 counts. So like, is that on swap, they get it for 10 counts. On swap, they get it for 10 counts. Either way, Again, I'm here for it. Make him busted. I'm down. What made you decide to make the character the way you made it? With Super 17, I would like him to be a great all-around character for GT with the ability to help GT with damage and crits and card draw speed. Recycling cards for combos, and for those combos to hit like a truck. Also, type nullified. Okay, I mean, I respect it. I respect the reason you chose it. What role do you see this character on the teams? I see this character's mainstay on GT, as I'm expecting the 3rd anniversary to be heavily about GT and the design to keep boost GT. Sweet. So essentially, he just wants GT. Hey, dude, GT is one of the few teams that has just gotten royally destroyed. So you know what? You give him an absolutely busted character like this. Like I said, I'm here for it. I'm down. So yeah, give him that. Make sure you guys subscribe to 5-9. I'm gonna pass it off to whoever's after me. It's either Azdeek or Swift. I don't know. There's a lot of people who are like, I'm gonna make a video. They didn't make a video. Their mic broke. I think ZVG's mic broke when he sat down to record this, which, I mean, what can you expect from ZVG, right? No, you can't expect too much from that. So, anyway, make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate you, and we will see you guys around. Deuces.
Alrighty, thank you. Okay, alright, so we're gonna go ahead and hop in for the 3rd submission of the video for the fan-made Zenkai Super 17. So I'm pretty hyped for this guy. I hope you guys are too. You know, we've been waiting for a GT buff for so long that it's been ridiculous. I truly thought we were going to have to wait an entire year for this GT buff, because I truly thought we weren't going to get anything until anniversary. But I'm very happy to be proven wrong here. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this submission by Octo. I appreciate you, man. So let's go ahead and get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing. What is their Zenkai ability? Increases the following stats of characters that are both Element, Green, and Tag GT. Excellent choice. Excellent. I honestly, I'm a little bit scared that they do Element, Green, and Android. I mean, I don't think it's a realistic possibility that happens, but I know there's some people out there, like Android mains maybe, that just want him to buff Green and Androids. I don't know why. You know, people just want to go ahead and make Androids the most broken thing in the game, and you know, I mean, from a certain degree, like, I can understand where they're coming from, but I'm very happy to see most of the submissions on here actually putting GT on here. So that seems pretty standard right there. I definitely hope that he buffs GTA. It's more than likely he's going to do that. So let's take a look at his stats. So stats, a little bit of an increase here. These are some solid stats, I feel like. I'm having your blast attack and your strike defense. I mean, your strike defense and your blast defense in the 180k range is always really, really good, right? You're going to go ahead and give a little, like a 20k buff to both of these bad boys right here. And then on top of that, you're going to go ahead and up the blast attack to 260k. So almost a whole 30k right there. So I better see this man doing some really good blast damage, right? I think this is reasonable. I think this is very understandable right here, especially with the Zenkai buffs and all that, the Zenkai stats, all that good stuff, and the Zenkai panels. I feel like this could be definitely in the realm of possibility right here, right? Let's go ahead and go continue. I don't know why I stuttered so badly there. It's okay. So, what is their new main ability? So this ends now. Draw the Ultimate Arts card, Shocking Death Ball next. Plus 50% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts, and you restore your ki by 30. So not too much of a difference here, except for the restoring your ki by 30. And I think this is absolutely needed for this guy. They need to do this, because you guys I don't think there should be a main ability in the game where you draw the ultimate without ki. Like, what if I ran out of ki? Like, what if I'm like at 15 ki? What if I'm at like 9 ki, 10 ki, and then I pull a 20 ki ultimate art? Like, that just feels so like, I don't know. I feel like you're blue balling me there right there, Toshi. Like, don't do that. Don't do that to me. I hope that never happens again. I don't know. There's not a lot of units out here no more that when they pop the main and draw an ultimate that they don't get ki, right? So I definitely agree that he needs this, even if he just restores it by 20 ki. I think the 30 ki is a bonus. Just restoring it by 20 ki would absolutely make me happy. And so he's also going to go ahead. Octo is going to make sure that this is only 20 timer counts need to elapse to go ahead and pop this. So 5 timer counts less, which is always, I feel like that's always an added little bonus. I don't think that's like game breaking or like a game changer, but that's just a nice little bonus for you guys, right? And so what changes would you make to their arts cards? So let's go ahead and scroll down to their arts cards. Are the special move art, the Flash Bomber. So it deals massive impact damage, no change there. 40% to blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts upon activation. Oh my lord, that's actually a significant increase right there, right? So you're going to want to go ahead and pop the blue cards with this bad boy. And he reduces enemy ki by 30 on hit. Okay, I like that. A little bit of disruption added to the kit has never hurt anybody, right? I feel like that's pretty good. And so special art energy absorption. Let's go ahead and see that. Absorbs enemy ki blast attacks. Okay, this green card I still think is good to this day, right? I don't know if they're going to change much to this, but let's see what Octo has to say about that. So absorbs enemy ki blast, and the following effects occur when absorption is successful. So you draw a blast arts card. Okay, I think that's a nice little bonus. Yet again, I don't think that's that's not going to break this character, right? Because you can't really combo off the green card necessarily. I mean, unless you catch them in the cover change with your ability or whatever, and then you go ahead, they have no vanish. Then in some scenarios you can definitely punish with it, right? In some scenarios, but very specific scenarios. So you restore your own health by 15% instead of 10%. Okay, sounds good. Reduce damage received by 30% for 15 timer counts instead of 5. Okay, I like that a lot right there. 30% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. So an added 10% from the original. And then you reduce your enemy ki by 70. Oh my god, this guy's going to cripple the enemy team. He's actually going to... Dude, let me get this. Octo, you're spitting some fire right here, Octo. I'm not going to cap. All right, so ultimate arts... Shocking Death Ball deals massive impact damage, okay. 40% to damage, do ultimate damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation. What does it do right here? So, I think that's new, right? That's new, so you get a 40% damage buff through the ultimate. Okay, so I don't necessarily think this ult's supposed to be so hard hitting, so maybe, I don't know if they'll do this. I mean, yet again, it'll be nice. I'm down for a broken GT unit. I need you guys to know this. I'm down for a GT unit that's broken, but I feel like this ultimate is mainly the biggest thing on it is the 100% chance to inflict all enemies with paralyzed, right? I don't know if it's supposed to hit so hard, but we'll see. It's definitely in the cards right here. So inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to strike arts cards. So no change right there. 100% chance to inflict all enemies with paralyzed, and you restore your own ki by 50 and health by 30% on hit. Okay, dude, Octo, I don't know, man. I don't know. This guy's looking too good. He's looking pretty thick. I'm not going to lie. So how would their first unique change? Okay, so the first unique ability. So growing energy. The following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield. Reduces damage received by 30% for 15 timer counts. So just an added 5 timer counts. Okay, 50% instead of 30% to damage inflicted per defeated enemy for 20 timer counts. Okay, so he's going to get stronger the more enemies that you kill. Kind of like the opposite of Rosé right now, which is, I know a lot of people have that issue with Rosé that they don't like, that he gets weaker the more enemies you kill. So this guy's going to do the opposite. He's going to do more damage the more enemies you kill. So that's pretty good, I feel like. Applies the following effects yourself every time this character defeats an enemy. Oh my god. An enemy! So every time he defeats someone, he's going to get a 40% to damage inflicted. You're going to increase your arts card draw speed by 1 level, and you're going to draw a special arts card next. Oh my god. Okay. Dude, this honestly, this looks pretty nice. This looks really, really nice. I'm not gonna cap to you guys. I'm feeling hyped from this. Just from Octo's kit that he has built right here, I'm getting pretty hyped. Alright, so what is the second? How would the second one change? Dr. Muse energy or absorption equipment. So absorbs enemy ki blast attacks when changing cover, available during assists. And the following effects occur when absorption is successful. So draws a blast card. Okay, so he's going to be drawing a lot of blast cards here, right? Based off of, like, as long as you hit those greens, you get those cover rescues, all that good stuff. You're going to restore your own health by 15% instead of 10. You're going to reduce your damage received by 30%. Okay, so it's basically just like the same as the green card, right? You're going to increase a little bit. He increases it by 10 timer counts right here. He also does 30% to damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. It cannot be stacked, though, thank God, because I think that would be absolutely busted. So 30% instead of 20%, and you're going to reduce your enemy's ki by 70. So yeah, so he basically just put the green card in this kit right here, which is completely understandable. I would want him to do the same, right? I don't want him to get cucked out of that green card abilities on the cover change. And so while this character is on the battlefield, the following effects occur when enemy switches character. So you're going to draw a special arts card. Okay? I don't think that changes right here. Activates 3 times. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to arts cost for 20 timer counts. And you randomly destroy 1 enemy card. Okay. Yeah, you're getting a little spicy with this kit, man. I dig it. I really do. So this is where it gets interesting right here. So these are the uniques that you unlock from Zenkai level 3 and 6. So for Zenkai level 3, he's going to get Evil Crafted from Hell. Okay, you really got creative with the names here, man. All right. I respect it. So the following effects occur every 6 timer counts while this character is on the battlefield. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 to strike arts cost for 15 timer counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 40% to damage received. For 15 timer counts, inflicts all enemies with 2 substitution counts. So he can almost, wow. So he can almost kind of like lock you in a little bit, right? After 6 timer counts, right? That is actually insane. And you gain the attribute upgrade minus 50% to enemy sustained damage cut. Dude, he's going to be slicing through enemies like, oh my god. He's going to be, oh my god, he's going to be unstoppable. This is, I already feel like this guy, he's going to be mostly built for disruption. I feel like maybe he is a damage dealer. I don't know yet. I can't confirm anything or deny anything. So, but honestly, I would definitely like this, where he's just doing everything right here. He is absolutely crippling. Like, if you run against this guy, you better pray you have some characters that have, like, immunities, I swear. And so at Z6, what he's going to get, Nightmares Incarnate. Okay. Applies the following effects itself after enemy attack is over. 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. Recovers 15% of damage received. Heals up to 15% of his own health. Oh my god, this guy's regeneration. This guy is regeneration. He is the fat boo of androids. Oh my god, I already see him being ran on androids. Okay, Akta, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared. This man is going to get ran on androids, and you know it. You know it, and I know it, and I'm scared. So seals enemy strike and blast arts for 7 timer cuts. Oh my goodness. And he restores his health by 20% when health is 50%. Oh my, dude. This is your, guys, if you guys are still watching, you guys have to rush this guy. You guys are going to have to rush this guy. So, Octo, what made you decide to make this character the way you made it? So I chose to make him mainly a very disruptive unit, being able to limit many of your opponent's actions. However, he can also put out some very impressive damage and will be able to tank incredibly well. He'll be a jack of all trades and ultimately will likely be the unit you want to see the least in PvP. However, his one issue is that he's effectively a win more character. If you're losing the match badly, then he'll lose a lot of his damage since there won't be many defeated enemies, while if there are multiple defeated enemies, he'll just look a lot better and be able to finish off whichever enemy your opponent may have remaining in just a few cards. Okay, I mean, listen, I'm down with it, right? I'm down with it, but I'm just absolutely terrified if this guy gets ran on androids, because he will get Zenkai buff at Android 16, right? That's potentially very, very scary. So what role do you see the character in their teams, and how do they fit the current and potential future meta you see? He'll likely become the new main green on androids and GT. Yeah, emphasis on androids, right? Jesus Christ. And he will probably stay there for a while. He'd definitely be one of the more noted units in the current meta, and just due to how annoying he would be to fight. Between his paralyze and his buffs generally just shutting down comebacks, he'd for sure be a nightmare to fight. Honestly, yeah, dude, this guy actually looks terrifying, but I respect it. I think you put a lot of work into this kit, and I appreciate you for submitting this, man. That being said, I appreciate all of you guys who have submitted a submission for this fan-made Zenkai. There was 43 of you guys. I greatly appreciate. Do not miss out on the opportunity to be featured in these. We always post them on Twitter. And speaking of Twitter, make sure you guys follow us on all of our social media links right there. We have Twitter, we have obviously YouTube, we have MySpace, all that good stuff, right? I definitely want to see you guys put in some more submissions. I definitely love doing these. So once again, thank you guys for every response that you guys submitted. This is Azdeek right here, and we're going to go ahead and be signing off of 5-9 Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!